moving. So this is our time. We have carved out a little bit of time just for us to take care of our bodies, because it's not just about the strength and the cardio. It's also about mobility and flexibility and range of motion. Let's add a little arm here. So I'm proud of you. You're here. Holiday season is busy, even if it is a little low-key this year. And it is fantastic that 2 days before Christmas, whether you celebrate it or no, y'all have joined me here. I love that. Now we're starting with just a little bit of a warm-up. Very low impact, very gentle. We just want to get our core temperature up a little bit. Muscles, very much like taffy, they stretch much easier when they are warm. I'm also hoping that you have a couple of layers around you that you can put on. Maybe you can turn the heat up in your house, and if your partner or children complain, you can ignore them. So again, it's your time. You only have to deal with being hot for 45 minutes. Let's go ahead and bring those arms overhead. Good. So just a little bit about the structure of this class in case you have not taken it before. For those of you who have, you can go ahead and tune this part out. It's a 45-minute class broken up into 3 segments: a standing segment, a seated segment, and a mat segment. Now, we will be covering many of the same stretches as before, so if this is your first time taking the class, don't worry, you're not really missing out. Let's go into hamstring curl. But I do like to sprinkle in a little bit of variety here and there. So there will be, maybe 1 or 2 stretches that you haven't seen in class so far. The reason we do this is because this is sort of our teaching class, a practice class, if you will. We only have this class once a week, but we should be stretching more than once a week. Let's bring the hands up. We're going to add a jab. So the hope is that after this class, taking this class a few times, you can remember these stretches and do them on your own time. Good. For 4, 3, 2, into a high knee. Let's bring those knees up and up. Good. Begin deepening that breath. Breath is very important. We're going to go over the breath a little bit later on. Hands up behind the ears. And we're going to add a little rotation, otherwise known as a steam engine, but we're going to keep this on the slower side. Less cardiovascular, but still full body. Core is tight. Chest is lightly lifted, like a string is pulling up through the top of your head. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to tap 1 foot down, hand on the hip, other arm is up. We're going to bring the outside elbow to the outside knee. Little squeeze here. Now I want you to practice your stability here. There is going to be a little bit of stability, especially with the standing stretches. So if you like, you can slow this down a little bit and kind of pause it at the top. And just give you a squeeze and release. And squeeze and release. Very good. Let's do 2 more. 2 and 1. And we're going to go back into a high knee, up and up. Keep doing your high knees, ladies. I'm just going to admit one person. Oh, Susan is joining us. Beautiful. And knee. For 4, for 3. For 2, for 1. Very good. Other side. We're going to tap that toe down, hand on the hip, other arm up, outside elbow to outside knee. And squeeze. So this is less of across the body like you were kind of doing before, and more of getting that oblique. So right now, the moving limbs are on the left, both my left arm and my left leg, trying to meet each other in the middle, as well as practicing that stability. You can see I'm a little less stable on this side. Very common to have that discrepancy. Good. Let's do 2 more. And 1. Very nice. Go ahead and bring your feet directly underneath your hips. We're going to start with some shoulder rolls. Let's do 3 to the back, 2, 3, and 3 to the front. 1, 2, 3. Good. You're going to bring your fingertips to your shoulders. If you have any shoulder issues, be gentle here, but we're going to do elbow rolls. 1, 2, soften up your knees, and 3, and we're going to switch. 1, 2, and 3. Very good. Now you're going to extend your arms. Once again, careful of your shoulders, soft knees. We're going to come up. 1, 2, make sure you're not hyperextending your chest or your back. 3, good. And then forward. 1, 2, and 3. Very good. We're going to bring the arms directly in front of the body, palms facing each other. Then we're actually going to flip the palms around the other way and give yourself an X. Now those palms are going to press gently against each other. Very gently. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, you're going to round your back and press pressure through your palms. One of the few times I ever cue rounding of the upper back. What we're going for here is a stretch between the shoulder blades, otherwise known as the trapezius. Right about here and here is where you should be feeling this. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, add just the tiniest bit of pressure to your palms, not too much. 1 more deep breath in. And exhale, you're going to very gently release the pressure from your hands, bring your shoulders back to neutral. And we're going to do our shoulder rolls. This time we're going to go forward first. 1, 2, 3. Fingertips to shoulders, elbows. 2, 3. Full extension, arms. 2, 3. Good. And the whole thing backwards. Shoulders. 2, 3. Then elbows. 2, 3. Then arms. 2. And your hands are going to clasp behind you. 3. You're going to open up those wrists, creating a rectangle. Roll the shoulders back and down and straighten out the arms. Going into our chest stretch. Spending a lot of time on the upper body. Sometimes gets neglected. Now I want you to breathe deep. Every time you fill your chest with air, you should feel the stretch expand. Inhale and exhale. See if you can drop your shoulders back just a little bit more. You should be feeling the stretch through the chest and the front of the shoulders. 1 more deep breath. And exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Good. Last one, inhale deep. And exhale as you very gently soften the elbows first, then release the hands. Go ahead, give me a little shake out. Feet a tiny bit wider than hip distance apart. Going to tilt your head over to one direction and then the other. Small range of motion for now. One thing I want you to pay attention to is what's happening to your shoulders and your trunk. We don't want the shoulder to pop up. We also don't want the trunk to tilt. We're isolating through the head and the neck. Very good. Just 2 more. Go ahead and tilt your head over to the right. You're going to take your right hand up very, very gently. Place it on the skull just above the ear. Now, it's even more important that you think about dropping that shoulder. A lot of times people start to do this. That's actually not going to extend the range of motion in the neck. You want to drop the shoulder away from the ear. You should be feeling the stretch right here. Should feel nice and not too much pressure through that hand. Beautiful. Deep breath in. And exhale, you're going to release that head. Drop the hand. We're going to take it over to the other side. Tilt. Drop that shoulder. Left hand now is going to come up over the top of the skull. Beautiful. Big inhale. Exhale, drop that shoulder. I sometimes like to crawl my fingertips down my thigh. And then kind of grab on. That gives me a nice range of motion. 1 more deep breath in. And exhale, very gently bring the hand off the head. Give me one really gentle shoulder roll. And we're gonna go ahead and take the gaze over to one shoulder and then to the other. Beautiful, and we're gonna come to the backs of our chairs. We're gonna go ahead and move into a shoulder and chest stretch as well as a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So, you're gonna place your hand on the back of your chair and you're gonna take a step back for me. Now, we wanna keep our knees soft here, please, because we're gonna be hinging down with a flat back. Very important that we don't lock our knees out, at least not right now. Keep them soft. You're gonna drive your tailbone back and drop your chest down. Your ears should end up right on the inside of your bicep. And we're getting a stretch through the chest and the shoulders. Driving that tailbone back, weight should be just about in your heels. Good, take a deep breath in. And exhale, you're gonna try to drop your chest just a little bit farther. Now, of course, if your shoulders are sensitive, be careful here. Keep stretching, ladies. The reason why I like to do this one a lot is because when we see an overhead press, a lot of times I see an overhead press look like this, so people kind of send the weight out. That's because many people are tight in the shoulders. They lack the mobility to send it directly overhead where it belongs. So here, we can begin to approach that flexibility so that you can have proper form for an exercise that I want to make you do later. Isn't that nice? Beautiful, big breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to very gently, very slowly, please, straighten out your legs. Inhale, soften your knees. And exhale, straighten your legs. Now, if this bothers your lower back, you do not have to do this. We're beginning to introduce our body to a hamstring stretch here. So if you're able to do this without your lower back protesting, you should feel the stretch down the back of the knee and the back of the thigh. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, soften. Exhale, straighten. Very good. Inhale, soften. And exhale, drive through the heels and come up. We're going to take one big step forward. Let's do it with the right foot. Both toes are going to be pointing in the same direction. Make sure that that hip is not turned out. We also want both hips. If you had flashlights on each, they're both shining forward. Torso is forward, weight is somewhat on the back of that chair. You're going to straighten up that back leg, inhale deep, and exhale as you drive your back heel down toward the floor. We're going into a calf stretch now. Nice deep breaths. Now, if you don't feel this all that much, you can do a couple of different things. Option number one is to soften up that the front knee a little bit more. That's going to increase the angle. The other option is to simply widen your stance, which I think I need to do here. Big inhale and exhale, drive your weight. Very good, and you want to feel it in the back of the back calf. Beautiful. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to come all the way forward. Switch feet, other leg is going to go back. Both toes pointing in the same direction, hips pointing in the same direction. Big inhale, and exhale, drive. That's good. Nice straight back knee. Nice soft front knee. Core lightly engaged. Calf stretching. Feels good. Beautiful. One more deep breath in. And exhale very gently. Shift your weight to that front foot. That back heel is going to pop up. Come on forward. It is now time to take a seat in our chairs. So, I'm going to turn mine at a very slight angle, just so you can see me. And I'm going to have you begin. And ladies, if I check my phone, it's just so I can keep track of the time. We're going to begin Seated all the way back in our chairs, but not relaxed against our seat back. We want that spine to be stacked right on top of our hips. We want to make sure that we're not rolling the tailbone underneath, no collapsing through the hips and the ribs here. We want nice and tall. You're going to take one hand, you're going to place it just below your belly button. The other hand's just above. We're going to go over breath. I'd like everyone to close their eyes. And just breathe naturally for a moment. Think to yourself about what part of your body is moving when you breathe. Are your shoulders rising up and down? Is your chest expanding? Is your upper hand moving up and down, or your lower? If you already have one or both of your hands moving up and down, that's fabulous. But if your breath is a little bit shallow, I want you to try to swell your belly. Fill it like a balloon, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just get used to breathing a little bit deeper. At first, it's going to feel like you're kind of forcing air a little bit lower. But after a time, your diaphragm's going to warm up. And the deeper breath should come quite a bit easier. Feel your shoulders drop away from your ears. Keep that deep breathing, ladies. Now it's very important when we move into our larger muscle groups. We're going to move into more lower body stretches here. And as we begin to approach new ranges of motion, the breath is instrumental. Every time something feels tight, I want you to breathe directly into the joint or the muscle group that we were stretching as if it's a lung. And then when you exhale, just let it relax. You should never be forcing a new range of motion. We're always finding new ranges of motion. Here's a little caveat. If at any point you get to a sort of a deep stretch where you don't want to go any further, that is great, that is fine. Your only job then is to breathe into more comfort, not moving anymore, just getting more relaxed. Let's do 3 more deep breaths. Inhale and exhale through the mouth. Inhale deep, paying attention to the temperature of the air. And exhale, feel the warm air. Last one, inhale deep. And on this exhale, let your eyes drift open. Very, very good. We're going to move our butts to the front of our chair. Well, I love a good seated series, because it means that you can stretch anywhere you have seats in your house. We're going to begin with our figure 4. I'm going to start with my right leg. You're going to take your right ankle and hook it on top of the left knee. Now we do want to make sure that the left knee is aligned with the hip and the ankle. So essentially that means no falling out, no caving in. So we have just the ankle right on top of the thigh. I'm going to take my right hand, place it on the inside of the right knee, and just rest it. Other hand, I like to brace it on the ankle. I'm going to inhale deep, and exhale, you're going to fold forward with a nice, fairly flat back. And as you move forward, you should begin to feel a stretch right around the outside of the hip, right about here. The hand itself, we're getting no activation from that shoulder. We're not pushing down, but as we fold, you should begin to feel ever so slightly a little bit of your body weight transfer into that right hand. And now we breathe. Inhale deep. Very good. Now I say a fairly flat back. With many of these forward folds, there's going to be some curvature in the spine. I don't want you to force anything too severe, but what we don't want is a lot of curvature. I don't want your nose pointing towards your pelvis. And as we breathe, we're folding forward just a tiniest bit at a time. Remember that little bit of relaxation. And this knee is very slowly dropping toward the floor. Now, if you've gotten to a forward fold where you can transition your elbow to the inside of the knee, that's going to give you a little bit more leverage. That's going to cause a deeper stretch. So use your judgment. It's not right for everyone. Very good. Very, very nice. Big inhale. Exhale, drop. Good. So we're going to spend a little bit of shorter time in the seated series this week. We're going to do our glute stretches, but we will be doing them on the floor. If you already know the glute stretches, just a reminder, it's this, and you prefer to do them in the chair, that's okay. But just so you know, we're not skipping anything important. Keep that in mind as you take your next deep breath. And exhale as you come all the way up nice and slow. We always want to transition gently out of each of these stretches. Go ahead and unhook that ankle. We're going to go into a seated hamstring stretch. That right leg is going to extend nice and flat. Now you're not going to quite see my foot. It's going to go dip just below the camera. But be rest assured that my knee is flat and my foot is flexed. Toe is pointing straight up toward the ceiling. You're going to cross your fingers, place them on top of the left knee, the bent knee here, as you do your forward fold again. Hello, here's the hamstring stretch. You should be feeling this along the back, the calf, back of the knee, back of the thigh. So if you remember earlier when we had our hands on the back of the chair, we were doing sort of a soften and then straighten of the knee. If that bothered your lower back, this is a very good alternative. If it's available to you, you can go ahead and take that right hand and reach forward and grab that toe. I also like to transition into the elbow on the knee. It's just a little less awkward than this. Now keep in mind, each of these stretches is going to look different for different people. So if I progress into a deeper stretch like this and it's not right for you, you don't have to do it. Optional. Some people don't like this deep of a forward fold. It follows their lower back. If that's you, that's okay. Very good. Now notice on my exhales, I'm dropping just a little tiny bit more. Incremental progress every time. Let's do one more deep breath. And exhale, you're going to support yourself from the thigh all the way up to seated. Bend that knee gently, bring it back, sit up nice and tall. We'll repeat that whole sequence on the other side. For me, that'll be my left. We'll take that ankle, cross it on top of that right knee. Now remember, we want that knee to stay aligned with the hip. Left hand is going to rest on the inside of the left knee. Right hand, I like to brace it against the ankle. Big breath in. And exhale, forward fold. Here we're getting the outer hip. Nice deep breaths, ladies. You're familiar with the sequence now, familiar with how it feels, where your comfort levels are. One side is, sorry, I felt it just go, just released. Sorry, I'm going down my elbow that much faster. You know where your comfort levels are. One side may feel tighter than the other. It's very, very common. If that's the case, just as you move through your stretches through the rest of the week, pay closer attention to that side. That side just may need a little extra love, a few extra seconds. Deeper breaths. Very good. Always feel tight here. It's crazy. Big breath in. Exhale, relax, and drop. Beautiful. One more breath. And exhale as you come all the way up. Oh, nice and tall. Very gently unhook that ankle. Full extension, flat knee, and a flexed foot. You're going rest your heel on the floor. Both hands laced on top of the supporting thigh. Eyes to the toes. Inhale and fold. Very good. Beautiful. If you're ready, go ahead and drop that elbow and or reach for that toe. Now you notice we're spending a fair amount of time in each pose. This is what's known as static stretching. There are a number of different kinds of stretches, dynamic stretches. Static stretching, I recommend at the end of a workout. Dynamic stretching is great for warm-ups. Static stretching is great after you cool down. Very good. One more deep breath in. And exhale, come all the way up. Oh, feel your spine stack. Bend that knee, find your center. And it's time to move down to the floor. Oh, already. Isn't that nice? So I'm going to go ahead and move my chair out of the way. And we're going to begin sitting on our butt. So go ahead and just find yourself a comfortable cross-legged position. I would like to hit the hamstrings one more time. So I'm going to have you go ahead, extend your right leg out to the side. You're going to pull that other foot into the inner thigh. Now, a lot of times people will find that they're a little tight in their hips. They'll feel like one glute can come up off the floor. I want you to be centered with your spine stacked. So if that means that the angle of this knee has to kind of hang out here, that is okay. First thing we're going to do is take our fingertips, bring them to the floor just in front of that leg. Inhale deep and exhale as we walk those hands forward. So we should begin to feel a little bit of a stretch through here, but mostly the inner thigh. Very good. So we did a lot of outer hip here. Now we're getting our inner hip. Groin. Beautiful. Now this is one of those where we can very much see how incremental our movements are. Your fingertips, farther away they are, the less support you're giving your body. Thus, you should be walking your hands out maybe a half inch at a time. Very good. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're going to walk your hands all the way up. You're going to take that right hand, the same one with the extended leg, and you're going to plant it on the outside of the body. The other hand, left hand, is going to come all the way up, right by your ear if you can, but if you're over here, that's okay. You're going to inhale deep. And like a string is pulled up the top of your head, your fingertips are going to shoot to the sky into our oblique stretch. Now the hand that's planted on the floor is giving you support. Thus, the farther away that hand is, the deeper you'll be able to go into the stretch. We should be feeling this running all the way from the hip up through the rib cage, maybe even into your armpit. And again, incremental movements. At no point should the stretch start in your deepest range of motion. You want to start from a comfortable place and then move into a deeper stretch. Now with stretching, there's comfort, there's discomfort, and then there's pain. At your deepest point, the stretch should feel intense, maybe a little uncomfortable. But always move slowly. You never want to push yourself into the realm of pain. Big inhale. Exhale, you're going to use that supporting hand to push yourself all the way up, nice and tall. You're going to take your chest, point it toward the extended toe, and fold forward over that leg. Now what we're looking for here is some support from the hands. You can grab whatever is available to you. Behind the thigh is great, behind the calf, awesome. Ankle is great, toe if you can. But what I'm looking for at all times, flat knee, flexed foot. Sometimes I see a lot of this. People kind of stretch with the muscles short, which we want that full length of the back. Beautiful. And in this position, you may even feel some residual stretch through the obliques. But not too much, should feel good. Deep breath in and exhale. Go a tiny bit farther if you can. If not, you're just going for comfort. One more time, inhale and exhale slowly, ever so. Come on up and repeat that whole sequence on the other side. For me, that means my left leg is going to extend out and my right leg is going to fold in. Now, one thing I see a lot, ladies, is this, where the foot will kind of flop out to the side. We want the knee and the toe both pointing up to the ceiling. So sometimes if you're flopping outward, that means you can actually afford to bring the legs slightly out to the side. But once again, keep in mind, you don't want that butt to be lifting from the floor. We want to stay on our sit bones. Hands to the front of the body. Inhale, and we begin to walk. Good, very nice. We should start to feel that inner thigh stretch. Beautiful. Now we know the sequence. Once again, we know our general range of motion. Tiny little incremental moves at a time. Beautiful. Big breaths into your belly. Exhale and relax the area. Find your new range of motion. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, you're going to walk your hands all the way back. You're going to take that hand, for me it's my left hand, that's on the same side as the extended leg, planted on the floor. Other hand, for me it's my right, straight up to the ceiling. Strings pulling up the top of that head. Fingers are shooting to the sky as we fold. Folding toward the extended leg and the flexed toe. And once you're ready, you can begin to walk your hand out to the side. Farther away your hand is, once again, the less support you're going to have. And we want to keep this butt on the floor. Sometimes I see people lift. Beautiful. Lovely. Nice deep breaths. And we're going to try to stay as aligned here as possible. Occasionally I'll see some twisting through the spine. You want to be like two-dimensional. You only move in one range of motion. Good. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Push yourself all the way up with that supporting hand. Stack your spine first. Then turn your chest toward that extended toe and bring those hands forward as far as you can. Again, options: thigh, calf, ankle, or toe. But we want to avoid any bending of the knee and pointing of the foot. Flat knee, flexed foot. That's what I care about most of all. If you keep a flat knee and flexed foot and you feel the stretch going like this, then I'm happy. Beautiful. Remember to never compare yourself to anybody else. Comparisons are the thief of joy, as my father likes to say. You're going to compare yourself to yourself from yesterday. Beautiful. Let's do one more deep breath in. And exhale very slowly. Come all the way up. Gently, gently bring yourself to a comfortable cross-legged position. You're going to rock your body from right to left. Basically just feeling the movement through the waist, through the obliques, transitioning your weight from one booty to the other. And then we're going to lie down on our backs. So, the first thing I always like to do especially after I've been stretching for a while and I've been doing a lot of these forward folds, is I like to just let my back settle for a second. That means I'm not pressing my lower back into the mat. I just have my feet gently on the floor, and I'm just going to let my spine kind of elongate and just get heavy. I can still feel this tiny little bit of natural curve in my lower back, and that's okay. Beautiful. You're going to take your hands up to a steeple position and bring them out to the side. While our spine is settling, we're going to do a little chest stretch. And the goal here is to try to get your knuckles to the floor. If that's easy for you, if that's enough of a stretch, you can stay right here. But if that's easy for you, you can come back up. Bend your elbows to 90 degrees as if you're in the middle of a tricep skull crusher. And then you're going to bring your elbows out to the side and then let your hands try to fall back to the floor. You notice that for me, it's not quite so easy to get my knuckles to the floor. Beautiful. Deep breath in and exhale. Go ahead and bring those hands to the torso. We're going to begin with the right knee into our glute stretch. We're going to bring that knee into the chest and very gently hug it in. We're transitioning back into a slightly curved spine. So let's rock your hips from right to left. Give that little lower back massage. And then we're going to go ahead and hook that right ankle over the top of the left knee in yet another figure four. But this time, instead of pressing that knee out, you're going to lace your right hand through the figure four and grab behind the thigh. Other hand is going to come around from the other side. Lace your fingers, going into our glutes. Nice deep breaths. Always, always. Now, if it's available to you, and you feel like you could be a little more flexible, you're going to take your grip from the back of the thigh here. You're going to reach it forward, and grab the shin, and lace your hands. Now, you notice I had to do a little bit of an upper body curl to achieve that position. But then when I lie back down, oh, the stretch is deeper. We should be feeling this through the meaty part of the booty. Maybe a little bit, like I feel a little bit down the sides of my thighs. And breathe. Now here, essentially, the deeper range of motion is just going to involve you hugging that knee a little closer to your chest. Oh. Beautiful, nice deep breaths. Big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and relax that glute. Gorgeous. We're going to do one more breath right here. Inhale deep. And exhale as you very gently release your grip on that leg. Don't place that left foot down on the floor just yet. You're just going to let it travel a little ways away. We're going to cross our legs a little bit tighter. I'd say about halfway between the ankle and the knee. Then you're going to grab onto the back of your thigh or your shin again. But instead of trying to go through the figure four, your arm is going to come all the way around. And we're going into an IT band stretch here. So this stretch in particular looks different for everybody. Mostly the thing that looks different is how tightly people cross their legs. I often will start with a certain cross, and then I'll either tighten the cross or I'll loosen it up. And what we're looking for now is feeling the attachment of the IT band and down the side of the thigh, so it's less of the booty right here. The other thing you can do is transition your weight a little bit over to the left. Ooh. So both your hips are still pretty much on the floor, but all of your weight is over to one side. My right leg is being stretched, so I tilt left. Beautiful, nice deep breath in. And exhale, go ahead and very gently unhook that leg, and you're going to pull both knees into your chest for just a moment. Rock yourself right to left, and then that right leg now is going to go down to the floor. We're going to switch sides. Figure 4, ankle over the top, that supporting knee. Inhale deep. Place your hand through the figure 4 and grab behind the thigh. If you're ready, if you already know you're flexible enough, you can reach forward and grab in front of the shin. Ooh, there's the glute stretch. Nice deep breaths, sending your air directly to the glute. And then on each exhale, you relax that glute. Air circulating in and out, steady, controlled, and deep. Finding each inch of your new range of motion. Let's do 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale deep. Exhale to release that muscle. Good, and then one more time. Inhale deep. And exhale very gently. You're going to release that leg and cross a little bit tighter. I'd say once again, between the ankle and the knee. Is sort of about how far you should cross. You're going to bring that hand back to the shin or the back of the thigh, wherever you're at. Other hand is going to come all the way around into the IT stretch. Very good. Nice deep breaths. Make your adjustments as needed. Then, so I need to go out a little. Yeah, there we go. And then, deep breath, and if you like, you can transition your weight. This time it's over to the right hip. So my left leg is being stretched, so I tilt to the right. And that will increase the stretch from the connection point right here on kind of the outside of the booty, run it down the outside of that thigh. Ooh, feels good. So if you are a runner or a cyclist, or a walker, basically any cardio that's repetitive that you do that's only a forward and back range of motion, the IT bands control your lateral side to side motion. So if you're only doing forward to back motion over and over again, super understandable. That's kind of how our bodies are wired, but the IT band does get tight. Notoriously tight in runners, especially. Big breath in. And exhale, you're going to transition your weight back to center. If you haven't already, go ahead and unhook that leg. You're going to pull both knees in very, very gently. Take a deep breath. You're going to let one foot float to the floor, followed by the other. And you're going to spend a few moments here in a comfortable lying position. So that can mean knees bent or extended, your choice. That can mean arms at your side or on your torso, your choice. But no matter where you are, you're going to close your eyes. I'm going to sit up. I would like the rest of you to stay seated. We're just going to spend a moment here taking a second for ourselves. We're going to begin with 3 deep breaths. Inhale deep. And exhale as you let go of the day behind you. Anything that happened before you came in for your stretch today. Just release it and let it go. Inhale deep. On this exhale, you're going to let go of anything you anticipate later today. All your plans, just let them go. One more deep breath in. And on this exhale, you're going to allow yourself to come to the present moment. From here, you can let go of the control of the breath. Just let your breath fall in and out. Let your body rise and fall wherever it may. You don't have to make any changes, but I just want you to pay attention. what part of the body is moving with your breath. If any little thoughts kind of worm their way in, no need to block them, just observe them, acknowledge them, and let them go, and return your attention to your breath. You get to rest in this moment, safe in the knowledge that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing. And as you excuse each thought and return your thoughts to your breath, maybe you have an opportunity to embrace the quiet between your thoughts. Resting. Allow your breath to deepen. And as you do so, feel your body rise and fall. And feel the clothing against your skin as it wakes up the nerve endings. Let your fingertips find a surface, fabric, or the floor, and trace tiny circles. Feel all those nerve endings wake up. Take this last quiet moment here to thank yourself. Thank your mind. Thank your body. Thank your heart. Show yourself all the gratitude and love that you would show a close friend. And finally, on this last exhale, allow your eyes to drift open to a soft and steady gaze. Ladies, that is our class. Beautiful, beautiful work. I'm gonna come up and say hello.